It's a pleasure to bring you up before the Toastmasters, and Icebreaker is very special for us. We want you to have fun, enjoy yourself, and please welcome up Scott, one of our newest members. Thank you.
Mr. Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, a defining moment often happens in our lives when we least expect it. For me, that was no different. A defining moment happened for me when I was playing the game that I love to play, golf. So picture, if you will, a beautiful summertime afternoon, birds are chirping, smell of fresh cut grass is in the air. I was 18 years old, and I stepped out of my golf cart and walked up onto the first tee. First time I'd ever been on a real golf course. Yeah, sure, I'd been to the driver range and hit a few buckets of balls. This is the first time I actually walked up onto the first tee of a real course. And I looked down the fairway. Off in the distance, I saw the green with a little pin on there, which was my target for that hole. It seemed like it was a mile away. So the first thing that popped into my head was, wow, I'm really going to have to hit this ball hard in order to get it close to that target. So with that thought in mind, I walked over to my golf cart. I took out my brand new Pinnacle golf ball, grabbed my tee, took a brand new newly purchased golf glove out of my back pocket and put it on. Fit perfectly. I was all ready to go. I teed that ball up, looked down the course again, thought to myself one more time, give it a good rip. It's pretty far away. And as I swung back, and with all my might, I swung through. And as I finished, I came up into my finishing stance, and I looked out, expecting to see the ball flying perfectly down the middle of the fairway. But it wasn't there. So I looked off to the left a little bit. I thought, well, maybe I pulled it just a little. I'd be okay with that. Nothing over there. Looked to the right as well. Still didn't see anything. So at this point, I was a little perplexed. Took a step back, dropped my hands down, and I noticed something catch my eye about 3 or 4 feet in front of me. It was a golf ball laying in the grass. So what I immediately did is I started to look around to see who the culprit was who hit their golf ball so close to me and didn't yell "4." For those people who weren't familiar with golf, you yell "4" when you hit an errant shot and it's going towards somebody to let them know it's coming. But I didn't hear that. So I stepped forward, reached down and picked up the ball, again looking around to see if I could find out who had hit this so close to me. When I looked at the ball, and on the ball it said Pinnacle. It was the ball that I had just taken out of my bag. It just swung with all my might at, and the ball rolled 3 feet off the table. So being 18 and brash as I was, I thought to myself, well, that had to be a fluke. Let me pick this up and do it again. This time I'll swing harder, because obviously it wasn't hard enough the last time. I teed the ball back up. I looked down at my target. It was way far away. I swung out of my shoes one more time, and the ball didn't go 3 feet. It went about 15 feet this time, so it was a little bit of an improvement. But I continued in this manner for the first 9 holes that I played, going 15, 30, 40-foot increments, swinging as hard as I could. Each time getting a little bit more angry as to why my swing wasn't working and swinging a little bit harder. And I got through the first 9 holes and I walked up to the 10th tee and I said to myself, golf is a game of 18 holes. There's got to be a better way to do this, because there's no way my back is going to make it through another 9 holes. I was 18 and my back was killing me. I had blisters on my hands from holding the club so tight, gripping it real hard as I swung. And I thought to myself, I had an epiphany standing on that 10th tee. And I said, let's just swing easy for the next 9 holes, and we'll see what happens. My back can't take any more. That's got to be a solution. So I stepped up to the 10th tee with that thought in mind, just worried about how my form was. And I took a nice easy swing, and next thing I know, the ball was flying perfectly straight down the middle of the fairway. Nice and high, straight down the middle, perfect shot. So I was excited. All of a sudden I thought, well, maybe I have this game figured out. Ran over, hopped in my golf cart, sped up to that next ball, hopped out again, and did the same thing. Just thought about swinging nice and light, not worrying about trying to kill the ball. And again, a beautiful shot, straight down the middle. This one actually landed on the green. So I immediately figured out that I had understood what this game was about. And I also understood that I could take the things that I was learning on the golf course that day and apply them to my life as a whole. So what I began to resolve to do was not to force or rush my way through life like I did my golf shots. What I did was swing slower and be more controlled And when I did that, it brought about a more advantageous result as opposed to swinging hard and trying to kill the ball. I began to concentrate on each individual shot or each individual life event, as opposed to worrying about what had happened in the past or worrying about what was going to happen in the future. In that way, I could focus on the here and now, and the future would take care of itself as long as I did my best at that one moment in time. So you can't walk up to your next shot and worry about what you had done on your shot before or what you're going to do on the next hole, because then you're not focusing on that one shot. You're worrying about what you had already done that was in the past that you can't possibly change. So I've taken all those things that I learned on the golf course and I applied them to my life. And it really made a difference in how I have an outlook on life and how I deal with each event that I face. And it's really changed me and made me the man that you see before you today. So I would just say to everyone here, just make sure you keep an eye out and pay attention to those small moments in your life. Because even though they may seem minuscule and minute at the time, they may wind up being a defining moment. Mr. Toast?